How's it going, Ian? How you doing?
I'm real good, James. How you doing?
Good, man. Good to talk to you again about this crazy show. And actually, last season when we talked, we were just meeting Jim and his family. They're in the RV, then they get caught up in this whole thing. So, how was it preparing for this season now that you guys are basically neck deep in this thing?
It was a lot of fun because I had obviously a greater understanding of what the world is and how things are going to go down to a degree. And uh, I knew going into the second season, it's going to be even, the stakes are even going to be higher than the first, which is impressive that that could be pulled off. So I was just really looking forward to it. And, I just got my head in the game in advance and showed up ready to roll.
It feels like understanding anything about this show is like a huge accomplishment. Which so, and anytime we get any reveals, I feel like it's amazing. So, how much do you know about your character's arc going into each season? Or are you kind of finding out not necessarily week to week, but not all at the same time like we are?
Well, in a lot of ways, it's very similar to how the audience experiences it. Each episode, I don't even bother asking, and the creator would not say anyways, and that's probably why I don't bother asking. He keeps things the writing team, they keep things close to the vest. So I just accept that, and I think that's fine. And each episode that comes along, I read it when it comes out, and I think, okay, all right, this is cool. I can get into this. Yeah, all right, let's do it. When we
Nice,
going?
nice to know it's just as fun for you as it is for us. So that's
Yeah.
good to know. Good to know. Now we saw the storm rolling in just as Jim was making contact with someone on the radio. How quickly are we going to see the aftermath of what happens with the tower and all that stuff? And will we actually get answers this season as to who it was he was talking to?
Yeah, that's Jim's trajectory for this. That sparks it for the second season is who knew his name and who knew what his wife was doing in the basement of our house. That indicates that this kind of Twilight Zone nature of the place, as people think it is, may not be the whole story. What if we're being watched? What if this is a giant experiment? Then there's people behind the curtains pushing people to see the limits of how far they can be pushed psychologically. So even though that's not the working theory on the town, but from everybody else, Jim is not afraid to really take that perspective and like investigate that much further and find some support in doing that over time. So that radio call at the end of the first season is the thing that pushes him in a very specific direction in the second season, which I really like. He's got a lot of ideas and he's got a lot of questions and he's adamant at getting after these answers.
We saw a little tease of that in the trailer, so definitely can't wait to dive into that. Now, you mentioned Tabitha going down into the hole in the basement. She meets up with Victor down there. Now, obviously, Jim's freaked out by the fact that she's doing this in the first place, but how do you think he would feel finding out that she's with Victor? How much can he really be trusted?
Yeah, it's a yeah. What the timeline of trusting Victor is a much slower burn for Jim than it is for Tabitha. She's had some moments with him where the trust, and I think it's down in the cave system where she starts to realize she can trust him, and maybe before as well. But Jim, with as far as it goes with Victor, first looks at him like, is this guy a pedophile? Is he, some is he looks unhinged, he's probably mentally unstable, and he's from this place and I don't want my kids near him. So it's much harder to warm up to Victor for Jim. But I know that does happen over time, and in the second season he starts to understand. It's just like anybody in life, when you get first, people are always kind of like a little bit standoffish, and then you get to know people and some trust is there, and that'll happen, I think, with Victor, because we can see that he's one of the good guys.
Can't wait to see more about that one from premieres its second season on April the 23rd on MGM Plus. Ian, thank you so much, man, for the time. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Good to see you again.